Welcome to Slay the Gatekeeper. I'm your host, Courtney Johnson, and I am here to un-gatekeep the gatekept. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy. Welcome, Brittini.
Thank you, Courtney. It's a long time coming.
Welcome to the pod. I know this really is a long time coming. Like, I feel like you, honestly, when you're like, I want to come on the pod, I'm like, you haven't been on already?
I know. Here we are. I'm excited to give everyone cheat codes.
I know.
We got pussy.
We got a lot of pussy cheat codes.
We got a lot of pussy, big, wet cheat codes. What's up?
We have the wettest, juiciest cheat codes that anyone's ever cheat coded.
Ooh, frame that. Frame that.
Okay, Brittini, let's just jump into your cheat codes. And through this, we'll get into a little bit of who you are. But the first cheat code that I found from stalking you very deeply on your social media.
That makes me feel so seen.
I've seen your whole journey.
Yeah.
Wait, do you want to give like a TLDR on your journey?
What does that mean?
Okay, this is so nerdy of me. TLDR is like a Reddit term.
Okay.
And it means too long, didn't read.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Spark Notes version.
Yeah, Spark Notes version. My name is Brittini, and I created Big Pussy Energy, which is the modality that the power of women lies in our bodies, but anyone. Our power lies in our bodies, but more specifically in the places we've been taught to be afraid of and shame and hide from the most, which is our sensuality. So I use sensual movement as a tool to connect a woman to her power. And so I lead classes in Austin, and I have an on-demand space that lead women in that. And it's a community that's growing. And my TDLR, I don't think I said that right. Is long story short, I was just like any 20-year-old looking for validation, safety, love, acceptance, value outside myself. How I did it was through traveling, which my life in my 20s was to travel. Like, that was my purpose. And I fully stand behind that. And there got to a point where I was traveling so much where I felt purposeless because I was not working. I saved up enough money when I was working on yachts. Like, my whole life was based around traveling. I worked in national parks. And then after working in national parks, I worked on yachts because I just wanted to continue that lifestyle. And so when I saved up enough money, I was able to quit yachting and travel for a year and a half. So I wasn't making any money. I wasn't getting anything. So there was no reason for me, like, no one needed me to wake up at a certain time. No one needed me to be X, Y, and Z. I wasn't working online at all. So for a year and a half, I traveled. It was the most amazing thing. But after a year, I just kind of got bored. I got drained, and someone called it travel fatigue, but it was also like just not feeling connected. Like, depression would be a word for it too, but it was very like numbing. And I got into a relationship shortly after, which I completely lost myself in, and moved to the UK with him, and a great person. And I was just not myself. I was so disconnected. Like, I was looking for aliveness in him, in that relationship. I was looking for pleasure in that relationship, and he couldn't give it to me. And I kept searching for it in him, and it just created distance. And so I went back home and in Michigan, where I'm from, and slowly just started realizing that everything that I've been looking for, the only continuous thing was me in the equation that was creating it. And so that's when I started going inwards and reading books by David Deida and learning about masculine and feminine energies from the mind, like understanding it, but then also going into my body to understand, okay, if I want to learn more about the feminine and who I am, I don't need to read a book. I can just explore my own body. And so that was really the start. And in that process, in that like 5 months of living at home, I really connected to my own big pussy energy by realizing everything I want and desire is within me. And I looked in front of the mirror naked one day and danced in front of the mirror and felt the aliveness and turn on that I was looking for outside myself and felt it within me. And that was the moment my BPE birthed in me, which was 5 years ago. And I just continued that practice and for 3 years and then started the business.
I think a skill that you have that's really amazing is you have such a strong attunement to like knowing when to seek help, but like ultimately finding the truth in yourself. And to our listeners, like a good example of this is, you know, when you go to a yoga class and they're saying, you know, I invite you to do this rather than you have to go into downward dog now, like that is there's an energetic reason for that. And that is to start to train you in your body and mind on how to tune into your own body and realize like what the next step is for you. And in a lot of my programs, I always say like, this is not a prescription. These are all suggestions. Like the truth is in you. Anyways, a red flag that I see in people when they're building their businesses, when they're going through relationships, is they look to other people for validation. They go through a course, a program, learn from a teacher, and everything they say now is like biblical to them. So I'm curious, how did you come to that attunement of like really knowing how to check in and find the answers inside of yourself?
Well, look, I'm human and I've definitely went that route too. And that's why the message of BP is about the power is not outside of you, it's within you, because I had so many times of like stumbling on my own feet, trying to find it in other people. And so it's a really easy route to take because that's the world we're set up in. The world that we're set up in is in a world that creates this illusion that our power does lie outside of us. We have this illusion that our worth lies in Instagram likes, that it lies in what our partner thinks of us, what our parents think of us, or what we should be doing, what lies in the government and religion. So we're in a world that carves out that path to be the easiest path to take, which is looking for validation and love and safety outside of us. So it really is a rebellious, quote unquote, rebellious path to numb out, sound out the outside noise and to go inwards. And so for me, it's a practice. And that's why BPE is a practice. It's not something that you get and you have. It's something that you continuously come back to time and time and time again. It's the same like what meditation offers, what breathwork offers. You don't do breathwork once and you're done. You do it as a daily practice. And BP is the same. The difference of BPE and all those other modalities, though, is that a lot of modalities connect you to the masculine energy. So meditation's very like rigid and connected to your breath and thinking of your breath or thinking of one thing. And BPE is a movement-based practice that opens you up to your creativity and your life force energy and your sensuality, which is your life force energy. And so when it comes to guidance and attunement to my own intuition, it's really been getting into my own body, because our body is a GPS. Our body will tell you if something is a yes, you'll feel expanded and it'll feel easy and free, even if it's not what you want to do, but you'll feel it. And if there's something that you do want to do, but it feels constricting or it feels forceful or it feels hard, that's your body saying no. And so like, for example, I felt that like an easy one is relationships. Like when you're in a relationship that you are just trying to make it work and it's not working, but you want it to work, but you can feel that constriction in your body, that's your body signaling to you that this is not it. And it's taking those fine tunement skills. And it's really a practice. It's not a destination.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Yeah, our answer is inside of ourselves. And man, I felt that so much of things that I really don't want to do. And I'm like, this is annoying. But I'm like, oh no, I feel that this is definitely the right answer. It's usually something I'm triggered by. So that's always a good sign. Okay. Brittini, your cheat code number 1, this is spicy. The judgment that you have towards others is really a mirror reflecting where you're holding yourself back. Ugh, tell me more.
It's basically also what you just said, like where you get triggered is where your greatest gifts are. It's the same thing. So when we are judging someone else, when we're seeing another person, I work with a lot of women, so it's really easy for me to take a lot of examples from my own personal experience. So like when you see another woman walk into a room and you're like, who the fuck is that? She just walks into the room and doesn't say anything and everyone's just watching her, right? That's an example of judgment. But when you see that judgment within you, I call it your inner bitch or your inner judgmental bitch. When you hear your inner judgmental bitch come online, it's a decision making of, do I decide to take the path of judgment or do I decide to take the path of inspiration? Because judgment is only illuminating where something that you don't have, but you see someone else have. And so you're inspired by it. You're inspired by a way a woman walks into the room and that she just owns herself. And you're like, wow, I want that. And let me see how I can experience that for myself. So your inner judgmental bitch is really spotlighting the parts of yourself that you don't fully own yet. And it's giving you permission to feel inspired by that. But we take such an easy route to it's so easy. Negativity is so seductive. It's so much easier to stay comfortable. And so you just bitch and you gossip about each other. It takes more courage to own, oh, wow, she really owns the room. And there's a part of me that feels like I don't. And so I'm inspired by that. I want to learn from her. And a lot of women who come to BPE, not a lot, but I've had one woman so courageously say to me that the reason why I came to BPE is because I was very triggered by you. I was judging the shit out of you. I was like, who does this woman think she is? Like dancing that way, owning herself and her body that way. And that was the reason why she came to BPE. And she is a completely new woman because she followed her judgmental bitch into inspiration instead of avoiding.
Wow. Oh my God, that's happened to me so many times. Last year I realized I wanted to, actually I didn't want to. I was annoyed by all these like feminine embodiment content creators. I'm like, fuck this. I hate this. This one girl specifically triggered me, Morgan May. We're great friends, by the way.
Okay, I was like, we're just putting it out.
I'm like, this fucking bitch, what is she on? Like, fuck that. And then, I don't know, I like feel this voice of like, you have to work with her. So I signed up for one of her classes. She coached me for like a year. Now we're really good friends.
Oh my gosh.
It's because I was triggered by her. I had to work with her and it was this huge transformation. That's why I went to the Tantra retreat, because I was so triggered. And then it was like life-changing, truly. Yeah. So a place that it comes up a lot for my listeners in like content creation is their inner judgmental bitch when they're posting. So a lot of times for me, it was always like, Courtney, you're annoying. This is so annoying. Like, you're going to be so annoying online. If you post this, people are going to think you're annoying. And I realized it was because as I was scrolling, I was calling other people annoying. And I'm like, oh my God, this bitch is so annoying. Who do they think they are? And I realized like it mirrored perfectly my own self-talk. So yeah, if you can start to notice it in others, you're gonna see that mirrored in your own brain.
Yeah, it's the classic. Your inner world is just a reflection of, or the outer world is a reflection of your inner world.
Yeah.
And that's what projection is. And I've definitely experienced all that too. It's really human. And are we going to let that drive the ship and control us, or are we going to take ownership of it? And through the practice of BP is when you start to realize like, oh, that's where I've been giving my power away. I've been giving my power away to thinking that other people are less than to make myself feel better, but it's actually like a gateway for me to stand up even more powerful in my power.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Yeah, I think another thing to start to notice too, if you're listening to this, is like in conversations with your friends, are you bonding over being the inner judgmental bitch? Like, is our whole friendship based off of like complaining or talking about others or whatever? That's maybe a good indicator. And that's a really easy one to see. Like, if the listeners are like, where have I seen this in my life? Usually friendships, that's a pretty easy one to attune to of, are we bonding over the criticism of others?
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge thing that we go in BP as well, sisterhood wound, because it's so easy. A lot of women connect through gossiping. And that's something that Mama Gina talks about as well, is that we as women have been programmed to speak negatively about one another. And look, I'm human. I've definitely done it too. And there is like this seductive pull of like, oh yeah, you think about this about her, da-da. And it poisons the space, because instead of being inspired and uplifting and seeing yourself in a light, you're projecting negativity and weight in another woman. And so in BP, how we move through the sisterhood wound is we do the opposite. Instead of pulling someone down and being like, oh, who the fuck does she think she is? We do the opposite and we catcall. So we use our voice to amplify the greatness of another woman. We reflect to her, we're her mirror of, oh my God, you look so fucking hot today. You just twerked. Your ass looks so fucking good. And the thing about catcalling, or when you notice that you're gossiping and you start changing it into words of inspiration, not only does it impact the woman that you're speaking about, either in front of you or energetically, but it also gives you permission to see yourself in that light too. So when you catcall another woman her greatness, you're then giving yourself the permission to see yourself in your own greatness.
Wow, that's super powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my example of scrolling and judging people for being annoying, I force myself to correct that by interrupting the pattern and then leaving a genuine compliment. Like anytime my brain is
so
like,
you're catcalling.
Yeah, I'm catcalling.
But on comments.
But on comments on social media. Yeah,
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
this girl's so annoying. I'm like, okay, I love your hair. I wish I had hair like that. I love your confidence. Right. Wow. Even if it's something so hard, like you got to find something that you like and admire in them, and your brain will just automatically fix that shit.
Yeah. I love that you're already catcalling. Yeah. Okay, so the next time you message on my Instagram post, I'm gonna be like,
yeah, hey, is she
catcalling me because she's judging me, or she catcalling? No, okay.
No, I feel like I've really transmuted and overcome the judging other people on social media thing, because now I feel really comfortable in my expression.
That's the thing about what I was sharing with catcalling too. Not only does it expand the woman that's receiving it because you're bluntly, obviously giving her a compliment, but it truly does rewire how you see people. Because instead of looking for flaws, started looking for judgment, you're looking to what inspires you. And then what's amazing, it will transmute how you see yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at your flaws and where you're not going and doing enough, you're seeing how amazing, like, oh my God, Brittini, that was fucking dope. Like, good job. You know, like you're able to see yourself in that light as well.
Is there anything triggering you right now? Like in your life?
I'll
share what I'm triggered by.
Yeah, you go first.
Right now, I'm triggered by women who have successful businesses and they have a lot of frolic time. You know? They're like, oh, I only worked 2 hours today. And my story is like, I gotta grind. I gotta work 12 hours today. And that's something that initially I'm like, fuck these girls, whatever. I'm not actually saying that. But, that's where my brain is going. And then I'm working on transmuting that right now. But I definitely have been triggered over the last few weeks by frolicky entrepreneur women. It's because I want to frolic.
Of course.
Yeah.
I definitely have had that trigger.
Yeah, a good phrase to start to notice this in yourself is if you guys say, oh, it's easy for them to say because blah, blah, blah. Easy for you to say. Oh, that's easy for them.
Oh.
That's like the trigger word where I know my brain is going into that negativity. Like my brain will be like, well, it's easy for them to say like they just aren't as hard of a worker as I am. So it's easy for them to frolic. And then I'm like, wait, no, I just want their frolic.
I love that. That's such a good hot tip.
Hot tip. Cheat code. Okay, what's triggering you?
I feel like things that aren't really related to this, it's more of just, it's not related.
Yeah. Okay, love. Is there anything that you do or patterns you look for to notice those triggers?
For me, I really have been, because I've been kind of researching and looking at different religion. And so reading different texts and reading different books around it. So that's been what's been like, it's triggering me, not because of what's being said, but how it's being said. And so what I have been doing is it feels really powerful to be like, okay, just because this is what someone says doesn't mean it's my truth. And so mine's more, I'm like in this, what's the thing that you put noodles in to take the water out?
Oh, a strainer?
I'm like straining. Like I'm getting this text and I'm getting my strainer and shaking out to find what is my truth. And that's been a really powerful practice because it's helping me understand what do I believe in, not something that's just given to me and it's truth. It's what is my truth in this. And so how I've been straining that is really just feeling into when my body reacts to something like, oh, okay, that was a contraction. So there's a part of me that does not believe in that. Okay, what is this text actually sharing? What do I believe in it? How do I want to look at it? So I'm in a really big like unraveling, straining kind process of understanding different beliefs and truths.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheat code number 2. We awaken the world through seduction when women connect with themselves. Okay, this is a cheat code on awakening the world. Love that. How are we doing this?
Okay, so the quote is, the awakening of the world is not through force. It's through seducing you into connecting to your own voice, to your own truth, and to your own sensuality. And so what I'm speaking about, which is your BPE, so what I'm speaking about is the world as we know it has, in like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, I feel like there was a lot of like, you need to read this book. This is what, like, God and religion, and like that's very masculine. It's very like, this is what you need. It helped me, so you need this. It showed up in spirituality as well. It was a very masculine driven way of like showing people what they need. Whereas I feel like we're coming into this feminine reclamation in the world where instead of telling people this is what you need to do, we're just going to start embodying it. And people are going to be like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, you're moving in a different way. You're speaking differently. I want to learn. What is that? And that's what seducing is. It's not forcing. It's not, this is what you need. It is invitation. It's welcoming you in. So even magnetizing. We're magnetizing the world to wake up instead of forcing. And waking up is really connecting to your truth. It's instead of following what everyone's telling you, you go inwards. Just like what I shared about what I've been triggered. It's like, I'm reading all these different religion texts and not everything I agree with. And so it's like coming back into my own body, trusting my own intuition, being open to new things, but trusting my intuition and letting that lead. And that's how we wake up, because a woman who's more connected to her BP, a woman who's connected to her voice, her truth, and her sensuality is an unshakable woman, because you can't tell her this is what you need to believe in. She's going to go inwards first and choose for herself what she wants to do. I love this quote by Regina Tomashauer, Mama Gina. A woman who owns her pussy owns her life. And that's basically what it means to own and connect to your power. You own your life. You're not easy to control. And so that's how we're waking the world up, is by inviting and showing them what a powerful, embodied, sensual, connected woman is. It's not forcing them. It's inviting them to see what's possible.
Yeah, it's proven, like, psychologically, that you can't change people's mind through force, not even through logic. You cannot change people's mind through logic. It's planting seeds for them to explore it on their own, or it's you being the embodiment of your teaching, so they're inspired by you. But you literally cannot make a change just by being like, Brittini, you need to be doing this, and you have to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times, we don't know that we can connect with ourselves, so we go to people that are prescribing rather than being the embodiment, and then that also can get a little funky, messy.
Well, and another way people can, like, change their minds or change is by feeling it. Right? Like, by feeling it for themselves, like, oh my God, when I connected to my body, when I closed my eyes and slowed down, the noise, the anxious chatter, the intrusive thinking just all slowly went away. Oh my God, I want more of that. So it's also by experiencing it within themselves. And that's what we do in BP. There's no right or wrong. It's an invitation for you to explore your own body within yourself. And so when people ask me, like, if a woman came to BP, what will they get? It's truly, I'm not in control of that. She'll connect herself, and through that connection, her life will drastically change, because instead of choosing things because people told her or following a certain rhythm or path that others have laid out for her, she's going to start following her own rhythm and path. And what that looks like, I don't know. But it's a tool so that she can continue to come back time and time and time again.
You know that feeling when nobody really gets what you're going through, when you're surrounded by all of these people, but you're somehow still feel alone? I lived that reality for years until I discovered the power of healing and community. Reinvigorate and Restore is a luxury 6-day retreat in Cape Town designed specifically for women who are ready to move beyond survival mode to begin living your best life truly and authentically. Imagine 6 days in Cape Town, April 14th through 19th, by the way, in a luxurious villa where everything is designed for your restoration. Morning yoga overlooking the mountains, sound healing sessions, authentic connection with people who understand your journey without explanation. Imagine 6 days with people who truly get it, who see you, hear you, and walk alongside you in your healing journey. Time is limited, so book your spot for April. Again, the retreat is April 14th through 19th, and you can visit survivorsriseretreat.com to book a call with Paula to learn more. Your people are waiting for you. Nexus Point is a best-in-class outsourcing company that helps business owners and entrepreneurs scale efficiently and profitably by leveraging the global talent pool. Founded by entrepreneurs like yourselves, Nexus Point uses its vast infrastructure to find, hire, and train best-in-class talent from around the globe. At just 20% of the cost of hiring locally, Nexus Point will provide you with pre-vetted talent with college degrees and at least 3 years of work experience, often with US-based business owners. From executive assistants to social media managers, customer service reps, data entry and research analysts, and other back office functions, Nexus Point can help take you and your business to the next most profitable level yet. Use the special link or mention Slay the Gatekeeper and have the $500 search fee completely waived. Delegation is so important, but it can be so hard to find the right talent. So I highly recommend checking out Nexus Point. Again, you can book a call at go.nexuspt.io/Courtney Johnson or visit the link in the show notes. Today's episode is sponsored by my Sunrise Content Club. I created Sunrise Content Club because I really desired accountability in my content creation. How it works is we meet on Zoom every single weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. We get on the Zoom, we play some fun music, we have a little mindful moment, and then I give you a content prompt. And we spend about 45 minutes working on this prompt together. In this time, you can ask questions, get feedback on your content. And at the end, we all share our wins and we also share our content that we have created during that time. So we all get an initial boost because we are liking and commenting on each other's posts. There's also a really fun and supportive group chat where you can ask questions, share your content, get accountability. The Sunrise Content Club is an incredible way to stay consistent in your content creation and have community support. It is especially helpful with folks with ADHD who find value in body doubling. For a very limited time, you can join the Sunrise Content Club for just $99 a month. This is a very special limited time founders rate, and I am so excited to see you guys there. Join the Sunrise Content Club today. I think it's pretty obvious that in our culture, in our society, throughout our history, that women have been disconnected from our power or have been shamed around our power. Why do you think that is?
Because as women, we are the creators. We create life, and we're very tapped in. We're very tuned in. In general, women are more connected to the intuition within ourselves, that inner knowing, or it's just easier. We're very connected to nature and source, and we all are as humans, but as women, I believe that it's a lot easier to connect because our womb creates the bridge between whatever you want to believe in. I'm just going to call it the spiritual realm into this realm. Like, we're very tuned in beings already. And before the patriarchal system really exploited religion and took over, women were the elders in the community. They were what people asked questions to. When women were on their period, there was a tent for them all to come together. And because when you're on your period, you're deeper and you're wise. Like, it's like the wise era of a woman's menstruation. And so there was a time where women were very highly regarded and looked at as wisdom keepers. And then through the patriarchal system, which really highlights masculine energy, so not just men alone, but masculine energy. And I truly believe it's not men versus women. I believe men are also disempowered in the patriarchy as well. They're disempowered by their emotions and feelings. Like, they can't connect to their feminine because it's not manly, which that's a whole topic about loneliness and in men. And so when you have the dogma that a woman's sensuality and her pleasure and her body are sinful, you're disconnecting her completely from her power. And it just makes it easier for you to control.
Yeah. You become a puppet.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to do my disclaimer. Every time I talk about feminine energy, I do my disclaimer.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for this disclaimer?
Okay.
Curious what you think about my disclaimer. Okay. Does not matter your gender, identity, expression, whatever. Everybody has masculine and feminine energies. So when we talk about feminine energy, I'm not saying you have to become a trad wife and milk cows or whatever. What I'm saying is that it's been awarded in our society for women to take on the masculine energy and to be like men. And so when we're talking about connecting to your feminine energy, again, I'm not saying you have to move to a farm and become a trad wife. What we're saying is we have this innate energy inside of you that women can tap into, men can tap into, whatever. We all have both energies inside of us, but it's been so repressed in us and there's so much power in it. And so that's why we're sharing about bringing it out, leaning into it, using it as a tool because it has been shut down in us.
Yeah, no, that was beautiful. Good disclaimer.
Yeah, cool. Because a lot of people are going to be in the comments and then they're like, I've had a few episodes about feminine embodiment in different ways. And people in the comments are like, this is so patriarchal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's actually the opposite, bitch.
Yeah, it's actually the complete opposite. A book that really helped me and was the first book to this entry is David Data's Intimate Communion. It's a book that for like 200 pages constantly is talking about what is masculine energy, what is feminine energy as an energy. He even goes into geography is masculine, feminine. I moved to Hawaii because of that book, because Hawaii is a very feminine energy, whereas New York, for example, is a very masculine energy. So I moved to Hawaii when I was in this deep feminine reclamation to experience that for myself. And so highly recommend.
Okay, I'm writing it down. Say that again.
David Data, Intimate Communion.
Intimate Communion. I've got an Audible credit, so listening to it on the way home.
Pop off. Yeah, it's just really easy for everyone to understand more. And to really pop off from that, sensuality is the aliveness of a woman. Mm-hmm. When a woman is disconnected from her sensuality, when a woman is disconnected from her sense of pleasure and her pussy, she's basically a hollow. Energetically, it's basically a man in like masculine energy, because the plug-in is the sensual, is the essence of pleasure. It's the receiving. Feminine energy receives. And so if you're in a place where it's really difficult to receive and you just want to give, that's very masculine. And look, I was very in my masculine for my whole life, which is why this is such a huge part for me now. I used to work on deck on a yacht. So I used to be a deckhand, and I was a female deckhand, which is why it was so masculine that you have to call it female deckhand. So I really know what it's like to be in the masculine, and everyone in society, like you said, really celebrates it. So even talking about the feminines, like, what does that even mean? That means you're in the patriarchy. It's like, no, it's the other half of us. We have both. Both men and women have both.
Something that's kind of fucked up is the like superheroes. All of the superheroes, their talents. Like if we have a female superhero, her talent or gift will always be a masculine gift. It's like a female superhero. Oh, we get this great representation, but she's a great fighter. Or she has like cool guns. Like, we don't have any like seductress superheroes.
Or like intuitive, deeply intuitive knowing with women.
Or even like a superhero that's like really good at like manipulation. Okay, maybe that's a little dark, but that would be really cool, you know?
I love that.
Manipulation for good. Okay, cheat code number 4. Do we skip number 3?
I think so.
Well, number 3, you kind of talked about, but I will say it again. Cheat code number 3, stop looking for answers outside of yourself.
Yeah.
Period.
But I'll tell you, y'all, the amount of times, this has been my biggest, like, we all have lessons, and this has been my biggest lesson. Like, every time, and I wonder if this is something you've experienced too, the people listening, is like when something triggers you, it's like, for me, it was like always reaching for my phone, talking to a friend about it, talking to someone, like basically getting my like SOS signal, being like, I can't experience this on my own. But there's something really powerful when you start to slowly trust yourself and figure out that, oh, I'm safe. I'm here with me. And I just wrote something in my Instagram the other day that there's a lot about the healing girl era. And this kind of comes to it. The healing girl era is an era that I think is beautiful. We all need to go into it. It's that era of where you notice that, okay, that's probably when projection starts to be clear. Like, I'm the one that's causing this. I'm the only one that's consistent in all these problems. Let me look inwards. That's kind of when the healing girl era begins, is when you start to go inwards instead of projecting outwardly. And so the healing girl era is when you're looking, and you're looking to find and fix and just trying to understand those shadow aspects of yourself and heal it and make it better. But then there comes a point after you've been deep in your healing girl era where you have this initiation of, okay, I've healed. These are still here. What if I just start loving them for exactly where I'm at? And that's really, I call it making love to the woman that you are era. And that's really where you can feel the sweetness of the power within you, because you're not looking outside of you to fix it. You're not looking for like medicines or different experiences and facilitators to fix you. Instead, you're looking inwards. You're like, what if I just loved all of me? And through that love and acceptance is where healing actually begins. And all the retreats and the workshops are helpful and are necessary, a huge part of my journey. And they still will be. I'm a huge advocate for personal development. But the difference of the energy is I'm not looking to be fixed outside. It's more of, how can I love myself? How can I deepen into this experience with myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even if you are going into transformational experiences, I think it's important to remember that the facilitator is not healing you. Not the medicine's not even healing you. You're just giving yourself the space to have awareness of what the problem is or feel the feeling. Like it is all you. It's always been all you.
And that's what we say in BP. I did not give you this experience of power. I didn't give you your empowerment or your confidence or your turn on. I held the space for you to tap into that, but it was you that unlocked it, and you can always unlock that.
Mm-hmm.
There is no magic key. We all experience it differently. BP is one path. It's a path that has really inspired or supported me and a lot of other women. But it's always within you. And every good meaning integral spiritual teachers are going to teach you the same thing. It is within you. You don't need someone to lead you there to teach. Like, you don't need someone outside of you to get that. It is within you. And good spiritual teachers will just teach you how to discover that within yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely a red flag if somebody says that they can fix you or their formula is guaranteed for success or this is the exact path.
Yeah, this is the only way.
Yeah, there's not it's like a diet. Like there's not a diet. There's not a perfect diet. Like people, I'm sure you've done this too, but I've been in times in my life where I'm like, is it keto? Should I eat eggs? Should I not eat eggs? Is it paleo? Is it vegan? Is it whatever? It's like, no, it's you. How do you feel? What is your body responding to? And in diet, in religion, in self-development, in building our businesses, like there's going to be so much of that comes up. It's like, this is the right program. This is the right thing. This is the answer, the key that unlocks. But it's all bullshit. Like you choose your own path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, completely. And by choosing your own path, like I always see that we're all of us who are like leading some sort of movement, if we're integral, we're leading everyone to the same place, which is within yourself. And how a person chooses which modality works for them is by their own internal compass, internal knowing. Even that is a choice that you get to make within yourself. I see it as cars. It's like, which car do you want to drive in?
Yeah.
I got BPE. It's big. It's pink. It's sparkly. Might not be for everyone, but go pick a car that works for you. But pick a destination that brings you back to yourself.
Yeah.
Not further away.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
This one is really juicy. How you show up in the bedroom is how you show up in life.
Oh my God. Wow, I
really went back.
That was a really far back one.
Yeah. You should repost that one. That was good.
Yeah. Well, so I'll share from my personal experience that sex was in the beginning, was the place that I looked at to mirror my life. Like how you show up in one thing is how you show up in everything. So that's the quote. That's the formula that I used for that. And so if I show up in one place is how I show up in everything, then how I'm showing up in sex was not good. Mm. And I was like, okay, let me look at that then. Sex to me was very draining. Something that's supposed to be very pleasurable and like cup filling was extremely energetically draining and not pleasurable at all. It felt very forced for me. And also, I remember getting headaches because I was forcing an orgasm through my mind. Mm-hmm. Like forcing it out and feeling like just negative self-talk, because a lot of it was based around that if I don't experience an orgasm, they're going to think less of me and they're not going to want me. So it's like, it was a self-worth thing. And if I did orgasm, I wouldn't orgasm for me, I would orgasm for them to validate their worth and to make them be like, oh, like it was like an inner dialogue. Oh, I'm worthy enough, right? Like you like me, right? A lot of my power was given away. And a big part of that experience taught me what performance is versus embodied pleasure, performance pleasure versus embodied pleasure. And we teach that in BP as well, is that if you feel like you are draining your energy, because in BP, you're not here to perform, even though it looks like we're in a dance class, it's not. You're learning to move in the language of your own body, which is embodiment. So if you feel like you're draining, if you feel like you're giving your power away, that's performance. And that's okay. But you're here to fill your cup up. So I teach them a few tools to fill their cup up. But to go back, yeah, sex was a huge place in my life where I learned a lot about myself. And so I take that for you guys, like listening, like how you show up in sex is how you show up in your life. And if you show up with receiving really well and a super orgasmic experience and you feel a lot, it probably shows that in all the rest of your life. But there's parts where you're blocked and you're shut down. Where else does that show up in your life? Because it runs everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So maybe the action item is to do a little reflection, maybe a little journaling about what you're currently experiencing in your sex life and if there's any patterns that relate back to your life, because there will be.
There will be. And okay, so a big thing is a lot of people, not just women, but women are the receivers. So I'm going to go with that. If it's hard for you to receive, so for example, I hear a lot of women, don't enjoy foreplay or don't like going down on, like they rather just go penetrative right away. Is that because the receiving is difficult? Okay, maybe you acknowledge, okay, yeah, receiving is hard. And so where can you receive more in your life outside of sex? So if someone asks, hey, can I help you with that? Even if you don't need help, girl, just say yes and see what it feels like to receive. Because people who ask if you want support, they actually want to support you. And so by you saying no takes away the gift that they wanted to give to you. It's like if someone gave you a gift, you're like, oh no, I don't need it. And it's like, it makes them like, what? So if you notice there's blocks or parts in your sex life that you want to enhance more, maybe instead of going straight to the sex life, how can you embody that into your real life? And by you starting to receive more in your everyday life, it will, just like how everything shows up in one place, shows up in everything, you will be able to receive more during your sex time too.
I think a great way to activate this in your everyday life is compliments. When somebody gives you a compliment.
Yeah.
Receive it. None of this like, oh my God, but it was on sale bullshit. Or no, my hair is so messy bullshit. No. Receive a compliment. I had a mentor tell me one time that like, she was like, Courtney, if you can't receive compliments, you can't receive money. And I was like, oh.
She's like, I must fix that.
I'm like, I gotta fix this right now.
Yeah. I would even go deeper too with, and when you receive a compliment, don't go straight into giving them a compliment. Because that's like also not receiving, but it's disguised. So instead, like if someone said, oh, your hair looks really nice. Oh, thank you so much. I just got it done. Thank you. Or whatever. Thank you.
Yeah.
And just let it be. You don't have to give it back. It's like in sex. It's like, do you give because you feel like you have to? Like that definitely showed up for me, tick for tack. Like, oh, he went down on me for 5 minutes. Okay, I have to go down on him for 8 minutes. It was like this like back and forth. And so if that's what shows up in your life, it probably shows up in how you give and receive compliments too.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. Ooh, spicy. Yeah. Spicy, juicy. Okay, next cheat code. Last cheat code. I love this one. This is such an actionable, fun, easy cheat code anybody can do. And that is when you're listening to music, change the word you in a love song to me.
Did I write that?
You did.
Oh my God, this is like old.
Yeah.
You archived some shit. Wow. Now I'm like really thinking about this is like 3 years ago.
Yeah, this would be a really great new post too.
No, you're right.
That's such a good hack. It's so actionable.
Thank you.
We can literally do this in the car on the way home.
Yeah. No, I do remember that post. It was when I moved to Austin and I was super connected to my feminine, like beyond. It was before BPE, so I was very much in like what someone would call the void, but it was very relaxing. And I was like, I felt very free and liberated. So it's funny, all these cheat codes are coming from that era. Yeah, it's super easy. So it also came in a time where I was really desiring partnership. And so listening to, and I love country, y'all. I love country. And a lot of the reason why I love country is because male singers in country music speak really highly of women and speak about loving them. And it's like poetry almost. And so when I was listening to these songs, I was like, oh, I really I want that. And so I changed it from you to I. And it, like you said, it's really actionable. It's really sweet. Just like how I don't know if you've heard this a lot. I teach this, but like touch yourself like you would want a lover. Speak to yourself like how you want a lover to speak to you.
Ooh, that's a good cheat code. Yeah. Speak to yourself how you would want a lover to speak to you.
Yeah.
Speak to yourself as your lover. Like imagine the change of your language. Another good one is like speak to yourself like you would speak to the child version of you. Like, would you be like, you're a dumb bitch to your like 5-year-old self? Hell no. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Any other cheat codes that we didn't get to that you're like, ooh, this would be helpful for your audience?
Okay. Ooh, yeah. Because I know your audience is like entrepreneurial business, correct? Yeah. So creativity. Creativity, this is another way we outsource our power, and I've done this too, is going on Instagram to find inspiration or to like search and be like, oh, okay, how can I get inspired? What can I do? Some people will say that and go for it, but I notice it drains me. And so if it drains you, notice that. If it feels like it's taking from you, notice that. And going into your body through sensual movement is truly how you can open up your creativity for yourself. Your creativity is in your sacral chakra, which is an energy source. There's 7. It's the second one. And it's the chakra that is filled with passion, and it's your sexual energy, your life force energy, and it's also your creative energy, because sex energy is creative energy. And so dropping into your body, moving your hips in circles. I guide a 30-minute practice. You can do a 10-minute practice, but just moving your body and opening yourself up is the highway to your creativity, because you're not going to find creativity outside of you, because what makes something creative is it's unique. So a great example is BPE, right? Like I didn't read about BPE. I didn't find it by talking about it with someone. It was fully birthed within me. And it was through movement and connecting to myself. And so whatever. And that's why I say, I don't know what someone's transformation is when they come to BPE, but I know it's going to transform their lives, because they're going to connect to the voice inside them that no one else can give to them. And so if you feel like you're in a creative slump or like writer's block or needing to figure out content, give yourself 10 to 20 minutes every day for a week to move your body and breathe. And that will be the highway speed to your creativity versus finding it in a book or a podcast. It's within you.
That's so beautiful. What are some ways that they can take that into their day? Like, is it just giving yourself space, time, going on a walk, obviously BPE? Yeah, what are some other ways?
Yeah, I love going on a walk. For me, this is for everyone. I believe, ladies and men, buy a full-length mirror. Buy a mirror. It could be the $8 full-length mirror that you get when you're in college, or it can be a really nice one. Start to witness yourself. Most of the time that people look at themselves in the mirror is when they're brushing their teeth and waking up in the morning or picking yourself apart. And so standing in front of the mirror and putting one song on and just dancing and seeing yourself, witnessing yourself, that will bring this sense of confidence that you can't find outside of you, because you're actually just witnessing yourself. You're seeing yourself eye to eye. And touching your hands on your body, slowing down, helps you regulate your nervous system and helps you connect to yourself even deeper. So just putting one song on and witnessing yourself in that song is true medicine.
Yeah. And if they want more guidance, they can go to BPE on demand or BPE in person. Tell me more about both of those options of working with you.
Yeah. So if you're in Austin, Texas, that's where we are founded. And I teach twice a week. And soon it'll be more times a week. We have teachers getting trained right now. And then if you are, there's a few other states and one in the Netherlands that BP is coming to. So that will be coming in August to San Diego, Alaska, Hawaii, and the Netherlands. So that's really exciting. And if you're like, where do I begin? BP On Demand. BP On Demand is an online platform so that you can experience everything that I'm talking about and what Courtney and I are talking about now online, anywhere at home. I have a free morning routine, and that's what I would highly recommend to start with. It's the morning routine that I have used every single morning since I started my own inner BP 5 years ago. And it's the reason why I created this business, is because I kept connecting to myself every day. Like I shared, it's in the morning practice with the mirror and one song. It's very similar. So I suggest to start with the morning routine. It's 6 minutes. And then BP On Demand is, there's 30 videos. You have 2 live stream classes a month. And it's a really great community for you to connect to your body in a way that we've been taught is wrong. But ironically, it's the most powerful space for you to connect to yourself is within.
Okay, so check out Big Pussy Energy. And then where can people find you and follow your journey?
You can find me on Instagram at Brittini Burton, all together, no space.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Brittini, for coming on the pod.
Thanks, babe. It's so fun to talk to you.
Great to have you. Okay, y'all, if you liked this episode, you would love my Patreon, okay? You get exclusive access to me, exclusive content, tons of other resources, and a lot of juicy shit, okay? So I hope to see you on my Patreon.